Hello, friends. So today what we're going to be talking about is jQuery, and jQuery is pretty awesome. It's a huge library. It's the easiest to learn and the most widely used JavaScript library. There are other things coming up, but jQuery is still kind of a workhorse, and if you're going to do any kind of web development, it's good to know it. So let's just jump right into it. First of all, I have just a random HTML page. I've got my head tag, and in here I have a browser reset, CDN, and then I'm using Bootstraps for this little tutorial, so I've got a couple of Bootstrap CDNs right here. Then as you go into the body, I have a container and then a jumbo class with a let's do JavaScript. Let me show you. So this is what the page looks like. It just says let's do JavaScript. It has a couple of buttons right here. It has 4 buttons. Then it has 4 panels. If you look here, here's my panels. So one row with 4 panels in it, and each panel has a panel heading and a panel body, right? Then down here at the bottom, I have the script tag for jQuery, which is right here. This is how you add the jQuery CDN to your page. And then always below that, if you're using Bootstraps, you want to use the Bootstraps JavaScript CDN. So let me show you where to get this jQuery from. Let's go jQuery. There's several different ways to add jQuery to your site, but since I'm just doing one site right now, meaning it's just one page, I just went here and get the minified version, copy this script right here, and then just paste it right here. You want to paste it above your Bootstraps if you're using Bootstraps, so the two don't have a bunch of conflicting things when they're loading the page. So, let's say you have jQuery, you have everything set up, and you have the HTML like I do, and this is your page that you have. So, let's just start with the very basics of jQuery. What jQuery is good for is fresh out the box. It's easy to write scripts to where you can manipulate the page and make it do dynamic things. So if you ever wanted to add jQuery at the very bottom of your page, right before your closing body tag, just make and this is just doing it all in the HTML page. Just write a script tag, and then within that script tag, you want to use the $sign. What the $sign does is anytime you want to use a jQuery library, you put a $sign, and it will. That's what queues up. That's the value to show that we want to use the jQuery library. And all jQuery is a library of ready-made functions that you can use that are fairly simple to write. So just go document.ready. And what this does is says, wait until the document is fully loaded, and then open the jQuery library and run the script tag. So document.ready function. Actually, here's the easier way to do this. Instead of writing document.ready and all that stuff, you can just write function, right? And then invoke that function, and then here you can put your code. If you know anything about like writing in raw JavaScript, and I have a whole series on writing in raw JavaScript, you will have seen these self-contained functions before. So this is the same thing as putting the document.ready beforehand in jQuery. Okay. So let's say that we wanted to find an object. If you go up here in the HTML, you can see that, for example, this panel 1 has an ID of panel-1. If we go back to, that's this panel right here. This panel has an ID of panel-1. Okay, so if we wanted to grab that HTML object, we just do $sign to invoke the jQuery library, and then we would just, in quotes, put the ID panel 1. And then once we have that object, we can just make sure that everything's working. We can just use the jQuery method hide. And let's do that. Okay, cool. And so it hid that. It's no longer there. Well, that was pretty fast. So if you put in here in milliseconds, you can say how long you want the hide function to take. Let's just say over 1 second, because it's in milliseconds, so 1,000 milliseconds equals 1 second. So let's just say panel 1 hide over 1,000 milliseconds or 1 second. So it should take 1 second. for it to happen. Boom, and there it goes. So you can chain together these as well. So then you can go show over 1,000 milliseconds. It'll hide it, and then it'll show it. Well, that's pretty cool. You can also put in here a delay, and you can delay it by 1 second. And you can just chain these methods together like this. Hide, wait 1 second, show. That's pretty cool. Let's do some other stuff. Let's grab another ID. Let's go ID panel -2, and let's go dot slide up. And let's do that over 1 second. And this should be the second panel. And you'll see, whoop, it slides up and disappears. And let's go dot slide down over 1,000 milliseconds. Let's take out this delay. I want it to be uniform. Okay. Slide up, slide down. See, all this stuff is like the hiding and showing it's fairly intuitive. Let's grab another object. Let's say panel 3. And let's go toggle. And what toggle does is if it's hiding, it will show it, and if it's showing, it will hide it. Toggle 1,000. So if you put toggle twice, it will just do the opposite. Hide and show. Let's do something with that fourth panel over there. We don't want him to be left out. ID panel -4. And let's do slide, or actually fade in, or fade out. Over 1,000 milliseconds. Fade in over 1,000 milliseconds. And you'll see here, this one should fade, and it fades, and it fades in. You can also use, instead of fade out and fade in, you can just use the fade toggle. And you can toggle the fading. And it does the exact same behavior. You can also style CSS here, so you can just go .css for the fourth panel. And when you want to style CSS, you're still going to have to use curly brackets, so you invoke the function, put curly brackets in it, and then it's just like normal CSS except with the values within the, you have properties and values. The values need to be wrapped in quotes. So let's just say color, colon, in quotes, let's just say red, comma, and this basically looks like a JavaScript object. And let's say font weight, let's just say bold. Let's try it. And you see the font weight is bold and it is now red. What you can't do is go font -weight, because JavaScript will think that that means font minus weight. And if you try and inspect that, you'll see that you'll catch an error. Whoops. Uncaught syntax error. 83. And it's on 83. So you can't use a minus there. If you wanted to use the minus there, you can just wrap everything in quotes, and then that should work as well. So it's a little bit easier. jQuery is smart enough to just do it in snake case, or camel case rather. So there you go. So that's the very basics of jQuery. It's pretty easy to utilize out of the box. You can do a lot with that stuff. And as I move forward in the tutorials that I'm going to make, we'll get into more complicated usages of jQuery. But for right now, just play with this. Have the script on your page. Run through some of these hide, show functions. Work on the chaining together methods and things like that. And yeah, have fun with it. Cool.